Hey yo, Noctis here. Whoop, that's my mic. But yeah, I'm not really sure which not setting system I want to do. I'm really tempted to start it out with my newest character because I've got a lot of character sheets, so much I haven't even really started filling out yet because, well, just I don't know, game never really went through, so didn't see why I should. But yeah, I'm a lot of just incredibly random character sheets from just lots and lots of different games. I think the most character sheets that are you serious? Oh, okay, that's where they come from. Might as well die here, I guess. But yeah, I think my most played system has to be D&D 3.5, with closely following that Pathfinder. Sorry, Pathfinder Adventure System, and then Mother. Oh, I just freaking exploded, didn't I? Nice. But yeah. Uh, After that would have to be a fairly easy game to learn. All flesh must be eaten. It's a D10 system instead of a D20 system like the others. However, don't get me wrong, it's so much more fun. Like, it's no, actually, don't take that because that's not really what I'm going to say. Like, it's not really so much more fun. It's more like each game is fun in its own way. All right, each game has its own good things and bad things. That's gotta be the most neutral answer I could possibly say, but it's the best I could do, really. Really, it is. Because each one has its own merits and its own faults, its own good things and its own bad things. Like, for instance, okay, and all flesh must be eaten. It's incredibly easy to tell if you win, like, to tell if you succeed or not. Because all you need to do, like, the die is always set at the exact same number. It's just how easy or how hard it is to get to that number. It's also about how easy or how hard, in some cases. I'm looking at you, Stout, if you're watching. um, how how easy it is in some cases to fail, or how easy it is to Oh wait, I was killed by a witch? I thought I was killed by a skeleton. Right? Oh no, I was killed by a skeleton. But yeah. Fuck, so off topic. I swear I might be part ADD or ADHD. I can't never remember the name. I can never remember what I might be. But yeah. Essentially. What did I put that there? They all have something good about them. For instance, Pathfinder, I know a lot about. Not because I like it too much, but because I'm so familiar with it. It's like, I played a while. I played almost nothing but Dungeons and Dragons 2.5. So, because of that, I'm incredibly familiar with the rules. Like, there's only a few things that have changed, so, it's gonna be pretty easy for me to learn. 3.5, don't get me wrong, Pathfinder 3.5 both have the same, I, actually, I can't say that, actually. What I was gonna say is that Path 3.5 is much better than Pathfinder, but that's really more of an addition more thing talking. The truth is, Pathfinder and 3.5 are incredibly alike, almost dissimilar. In fact, they are so alike it's not even funny. They both have a horrible scale. Well, Pathfinder not so much. 3.5 is the main bad guy in this, but they both have a very, very flawed scaling mechanic, where depending on your level, like how hard it is for you, like how easy it is for you to hit things, how easy it is for you to dodge things, take poisons, resist mind control, and stuff like that. It's very good. I love how it is, but the curve is so sharp that it's not even funny. If you don't know what I mean by that, you've obviously never played Pathfinder or 3.5, because the unit of measure in these games usually, not all the time, but usually, is gold. Now, in 3.5, gold is essentially just $1. So like everything is relatively cheap. It's like everything is relatively cheap because it goes off a pretty, I don't know, pretty low, like your standard medieval dollar essentially. It's very, very low. For instance, the most copper, like copper would be the lowest form would be the copper, which would be equivalent to 1 cent. Silver being 10 cents, gold being $1, platinum being $10, electrum being $100, and Greyhawk coins, or essentially steel, as they're known of in that setting, are essentially worth like $1,000 a piece. Of course, these are changed depending on the setting, depending on the rules you're using, all sorts of things. What am I doing? Oh, right. But there's always that whole scaling issue I was talking about. Now, the issue about the scaling and why it is such a bad thing, okay, I'm not ripping on the games themselves. They're very good games, and I personally do love Paizo, and I do love Wizards of the Coast for making them. Thank you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep at it. But as with all things, there are some things about them. For instance, and it's never a good sign when I say, for instance, like that. Let's say, for instance, in D&D 3.5, you started out at, no, that's not a good way to put it. Oh, no, actually, the best way that I ever heard it put was, from, usually, the scaling on levels on a class will go from level 1 to level 20. And normally that doesn't seem very high, but believe me, it is. You'll be doing things you won't ever believe you could ever do once you get that high. Trust me, I know. I've done them. But, anyways, at the first 5 levels I've heard referred to as the Superman levels. Again, if you don't know why, you've obviously never played D&D. They are essentially, those are the times when you are going to be the lowest power in the entire game. Though, obviously, because of the lowest levels. But by that, I mean you're not going to have a lot of power. You're not going to have a lot of ability to do things. You won't be very familiar enough with the setting or the place where you're at to be able to do the kind of screwery crap that you'll be able to do later on. I mean, most people don't even have, like, nobody really knows about them. After they've reached level 1, they can take, well, nothing really. they just get the basis for the class, and they're kind of screwed. But once they get to level 5, 3.5, this is why it's such a horrible scaling. This is why it has such bad scaling. They don't take into account, or well, if they did a bad job of it. In my opinion, at least. They didn't take into account how much the players will dick with the system. They may have, but from what I've seen, they haven't. I haven't played very many games, and that might just be my group, but I'll tell you that first level fighter that could barely kill the rat, at level 5, with the right amount of bullshit thrown in, is now currently, well, head of the king's army. Now that might not seem like much, and it's not, at least compared to later on. But keep in mind, it's fairly easy to gain levels in this game. All you need is just experience, like any game normally. But the bad thing, and I do mean the bad thing, I'm not gonna get lost again. Actually, I'm gonna mark down my coordinates this time. I'm gonna go back and mark down my chords. But yeah, the bad thing about this is how fast you get there. Because at level 1, you're not doing much. Like, literally, you are doing almost fuck all. Okay, a very common, very, very, very cliched example of this would be, okay, you all meet in a tavern. You all meet in a tavern as in your party. You and the other dudes, where you are, all meet at a tavern. All meet at like this bar, essentially. You've been drinking there for like an hour or so. Y'all get there, and then you notice some dude in a cloak there in the corner, brooding to himself and looking around at everybody. Kind of being a perv, but also looks like he's got stuff to say. So one of you decides, hey, let's go invite him over and see what's going on. Did I seriously already get fucking lost? Nope, never mind, it's over there. And, yay, great, I'm an idiot. I've been playing this window the entire time. Why do I care? It's not gonna matter if I put it through the converter anyways. But, yeah. So, one of you guys brings him over there, and he decides to bitch and moan about how his basement has been infested by giant rats, or spiders, or some horrible little slight vermin thing that's barely grown tall, that has, for some reason, decided to take up home in his basement. Not his cellar, not his food store, his basement. So, you guys are like, oh, okay, this is obviously a plot hook, leading to things greater. So you go in there, you kill the rats, barely, or spiders, or possums, or giant inflatable blow-up dolls, or something. But you kill whatever the hell's in there, and then you just do. You get experience for that. Not gonna be much, like maybe 1 or 2, a little bit more for the number of rats you did kill. And you just do that pretty much until you level up. Maybe go into the wilderness and like kill a bunch of goblins or reptile people, and you just slowly level up, slowly work yourself up so that you can level. Now, it doesn't sound that bad, and in all actuality it is not. However, that's a level 1 character. You've barely been able to kill rats. Alright. Where is my marker? It's over there. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Thought I had this good. Back. Surprisingly not. With the thing, yay. But, yeah. So, you do this, but you were barely able to kill a rat at level 1. That's just pitiful. That is barely anything. So, you go from barely, so within 4 levels, you start at level 1, and you get to level 5. So, at level 1, you can barely kill a rat. At level 5, you're leading the king's army because of how good you are in killing things. The fighter, amazing. It's a bad class, but not for that reason. Not for that reason. It's just bad in general. I'm not gonna get into why. You play it, you'll probably figure it out. But again, it's my opinion, so I'm not the one true authority on that. That's for everybody's to now decide for themselves. Now, I will say this though. Levels 1 through 5 are called the heroic levels. Wait, no, sorry. In my group, they were called the beginner levels. Many other places will call them differently. Yeah, levels 1 through 5 are the beginner or heroic levels. Levels 10 through 15, 5 through 10 are I've often heard called the Paragon levels. Now, this is different in 4E, 4th edition, but in 3.5, this is generally what they were. Alright, so your level 5 guy has gotten lots of stuff and been able to pretty much weasel his way out. So, now, he can pretty much kill anything. Because, like, with all of the stuff that he's been able to do and all that stuff, he's essentially become at this point, paragon of his class. He is, oh yeah, lag, been pretty much just like, like a myth, and you hear all these deeds that they've done, but you've never actually seen it yourself. That's kind of what the Paragon is about. Like, that's kind of what they do. They are the legendary hero. And most games don't really make it past this, but those that do are legendary. Literally. Because then you get into bullshit in terms of power. Like, this is around, like, once you get past level 10, that's about the time when the spellcasters can really throw their weight around. Level 9 is arguably one of the more important levels for spellcasters, or at least wizards in particular. But it's not necessarily true if you know what you're doing. Because screw off, Spidey. How should I put this? In the very beginning, if you play a spellcaster, level 1, you can cast maybe a few barely there spells like, oh look, I can move like 5 feet from nowhere. Like standing over here, I can move like 5 pounds, 5 feet somewhere. But, and like maybe, just maybe be able to make water, make somebody blind or deaf. That's barely anything. That's like parlor tricks essentially. But by the time that you are at level 9, the wizard gets access, I believe it's level 9, might be level 10, but at level 9 the wizard gets access to 4th level spells. That might not mean much to you, but it means a lot to the guy playing the wizard. Because that means he can then, and I kid you not, throw around massive fireballs that explode and damage everything around them. Yes, that means that if your wizard ever wants to throw a fireball into a large area of goblins that you want to kick their asses hand to hand because you're a fighter, don't let him. They're all gonna die immediately. It's how powerful they get. And they get even more powerful later on. But, being as that is, you have pretty much entered the superhero levels. This is where things become incredibly stupid. Like, that fighter you're playing as, yeah, if you get the right feats and the right skills, you can jump over buildings. This is where your fighter pretty much becomes just Captain America. This is where your cleric becomes Thor. This is where your sorcerer becomes the freaking Iron Man. This is where the bullshit starts to happen. And then once you get past level 15 and onto level 20, that is when it is literally just okay. I shouldn't say it is nowhere near the heights that it's gonna get very soon. Because if your group has managed to survive the idiocy and get to level 20, you have literally just become a demigod. Well, okay, not necessarily literally, but in terms of power, you're essentially a quasi deity. You're like a demigod. That's actually a god, but has no divine power. That's how powerful you are the second you become level 20. Or around there, depending on what class you're playing. Some classes never make it there, but on the average, you do a lot of bullshit when you get there. Past level 20 though, that's where things just become like Monty Python. Like, there is no possible reason for any of that crap to work the way it does. But it does because it's hilarious. That, once you get to that point, that's when your game just starts to become so trivial. It's why they're called the epic levels, because that's when you start to get into like the big meat of things. That's when the big dragon battles start happening, with like the 15 dragons versus one fighter. That's when that crap starts happening. Right there. And I know. I'm aware, I've read about them. Never actually played in one that got that far. But, and this might actually be the first one that I do, depending on when I gotta get the camera or webcam, depending on what I want to use. Is it raining? No, there's just water above me. I'm gonna be starting in an epic campaign actually, level 25. So, not necessarily epic campaign. Really more along the lines of, I'm amazed you're not a god yet campaign. Where, like, the first battle is going to be just insanely just destructive, and I'm going to be playing some dude who, I'm going to be playing a dark elf dude. I know, normally a bad choice, but hey, GM said I could. And GM is pair, by the way. I'm going to die. Nope. Oh, sweet, didn't die. But, yeah. So, anyways, I'm playing as like this necromancer dude who's giving me like all sorts of cool shit's gonna happen in that campaign. I can't really explain it because there's gonna be some people there. I'm not. If I get a camera, I might just do it. It's not gonna be very good because, not gonna lie, I have very crappy controls of the camera, and it's gonna be mostly done at school or library or back out in my my cousin's camper, so lighting's not gonna be good. Acoustics won't be good at all. It'll just be very crappy until I can like actually get a studio or stuff. But you know, here's to hoping. So I have like 45 seconds left. Maybe less. No, yeah, about 30 seconds left now. Oh, time flies by. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting the Let's Get Nerdy, the Let's Geek playlist actually, up pretty soon. Well, one of them up anyways. So I think I might just do it on Fraps to start out with, and use like Fire Alpaca or something. Maybe GIMP to do it. Anyways, it's starting to get dark, and I got like 5 seconds left. So I don't know. See ya.